All right. We can probably give it another 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I can see a lot of people joining in, so we can get started at 6:32. All right, cool. I think we can get started. So hello everyone. My name is Joseph Elam. I'm the general manager of PRYPCO Blocks. I'm joined by Muhannad. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm Mohamed Al. I'm the Director of Operations at PRYPCO Blocks. Pleasure having all of you here tonight, or morning, or wherever you are around the world.
Yeah, good morning, good night, good afternoon. We're also live on YouTube, so whoever is tuning in there, thank you so much for joining us. I think it's going to be a great session. It's the first time we're running this webinar. It's Introduction to PRYPCO Blocks. So Mohamed and I are going to walk you through our value proposition. If you have any questions also related to PRYPCO or real estate in general, also please feel free to drop your question in the Q&A section on the bottom of your screen. You can see a Q&A box. You can drop the question there. It can also be anonymous if you don't want to show your name. That's perfectly fine, and we'll answer them live on this session. So without further ado, let's get started. So PRYPCO Blocks, before getting into the product, I would just like to highlight a couple of things about the Dubai real estate and why we actually launched such a value proposition. So first of all, we all know the Dubai real estate has been one of the most growing real estate market globally. So it's actually been valued at 1.4 trillion dirhams. And the real estate transaction over the past 4 years have been increasing significantly and averaging at around 77% increase year on year. And in terms of rental yield, Dubai sits at a very healthy 8% compared to its peers around the world. So New York sits at around 2%, London 1%, Mumbai 2%, and Shanghai 3%. Now, obviously, investing in the Dubai real estate or even investing in Dubai in general offers a lot of opportunities, such as, obviously living in a tax-free economy. So you get tax-free income, which you can obviously invest it and get higher returns since you're not paying any kind of income tax. Higher rental yields, as we just mentioned earlier. Economic stability. So the GDP of the UAE has been increasing significantly year on year, even during economic downturns, such as like in 2022, and obviously strong growth potential, whether it's in the real estate market or other different industries. But investing in the real estate market in Dubai obviously has a lot of opportunities, but also comes with a lot of challenges. So, such as identifying the correct property. You're not sure which one is the right property to buy, whether it's for you or an investment. You always need to run your checks there. You also always need to run your numbers, making sure it's the correct investment that you're making. And the data provided to retail investors is not always available publicly. Number two, volatility. Real estate is an asset class like any other asset class that has volatility. The Dubai real estate market has been cyclical over the past 15, 20 years, but it's been increasing year on year, as we've seen previously in a more linear way. But it is still some kind of a risky asset class where there is a lock-in period inside of it, and liquidity is not always there. So that's something to take into consideration. High initial investment. So even though you're getting your property from at a mortgage, and here in Dubai you can get a mortgage or a down payment at 20%, which is kind of relatively decent compared to other countries, but still that is a very big chunk of someone's cash flow or net worth. So it's not always easy to put 20% aside. And finally, property management. So managing a property from A to Z, whether it's from buying all the way to closing and then renting it out, managing the maintenance. So for an individual is not a very easy kind of task to do. So that is the reason why we launched PRYPCO Blocks. Those are the challenges that we've identified. And I want to introduce you to PRYPCO Blocks.
Do you wish to invest in Dubai's real estate, but don't know where to start? The app you need is here. Welcome to PRYPCO Blocks, a seamless way to digitally invest in Dubai's best rental properties, starting from just 2,000 dirhams. Getting started is quick and simple with our user-friendly app. Sign up with just a few taps and secure your account in no time. For fast and secure access enabled biometric login. No more passwords, just instant access at your fingertips. Now, as per the DFSA regulations, we require you to submit some details and documents to verify your profile and ensure your investments are protected. Congratulations! You can now start investing in Dubai's best rental properties and unblock a new income stream. Browse through a curated list of properties handpicked by leading experts. Then, choose the property blocks you want to invest in and add them to your cart in just a few taps. Choose your payment method, debit card or PRYPCO Blocks wallet, and enter the details. The process is quick, easy, and secure. That's it. You are now officially a property investor in Dubai. Congratulations. Track your investments and watch your earnings grow anytime, anywhere, right from the app. Need to withdraw earnings or add funds to diversify your portfolio? You can do it effortlessly with your PRYPCO Blocks wallet. Head to the reward section to refer family and friends to PRYPCO Blocks. You can earn up to 750 dirhams per referral. Yalla, unblock your new income stream by downloading the PRYPCO Blocks app.
All right. Well, now that we've learned a bit more about Dubai real estate market and about PRYPCO Blocks, why invest in PRYPCO Blocks? So we are offering an application with curated listings that provides you an ease of access to all the properties that we've listed from anywhere around the world at any time. So you can go through, browse our properties with so much ease, and then you can choose to invest in any of these open for funding properties, starting from 500 dirhams, which unlocks a lot more of your capital to diversify in other properties that are listed on PRYPCO Blocks as well. We will manage these properties, so it's hassle-free for you, and we will acquire a tenant, get the rent, and pay it out in shape of dividend, of monthly dividend to be more precise. So you would receive passive income every month in your PRYPCO Blocks wallet. Your investment is secured in a form of special purpose vehicle, which is an SPV, essentially a company in DIFC that owns that property. And you will sit as a shareholder on that company on a public registry that you can access through DIFC's website. So how do you start investing? It's fairly simple. You launch your PRYPCO Blocks app, you sign up using your details, you complete your KYC, take a selfie to prove that you're not a robot, and then we will notify you once you have been verified. Once you've been verified, you can easily then browse through our properties. Just one sec. You can browse through our properties, choose a property that you're comfortable investing in with the amount, move the amount to your wallet by using your debit card or direct bank transfer, check out, and now congratulations, you've just officially became an investor in Dubai real estate market through PRYPCO Blocks. Once the property is completely funded, what do you expect? Assuming you choose to invest 10,000 in a property that's valued at 1 million, you'd expect to own 1% of the property. So you're also entitled to 1% of the annual rental income and 1% of the capital appreciation, which you can capitalize on during our exit windows or by the end of the tenor of holding the property's tenor, which is one of our exits. We have listed down our exits in this form for you to understand it in the simplest manner. Once a property is funded, we go into a locking period for the first 12 months. after which we will open an exit window for 2 weeks, which you can offload your shares in that property or acquire more shares from other investors in that property. Then we would open up the same exit window every 6 months until 60 months, which is 5 years later, where is when we plan to exit the total property. Obviously, PRYPCO is offering you all these services for a fee, starting with 1.5% on entry, 1% annually, and 2.5% on exit, whether it's at the end of the tenor or during one of our exit windows.
Cool. Thanks, Monad. Now, we went through how PRYPCO Blocks works. Obviously, there's many ways for you to kind of grow your portfolio and grow your wealth. One of them is investing through real estate, and we really hope that PRYPCO Blocks can unblock that for you. Now, there is a different way for you also to grow your wealth and have a second stream income through PRYPCO, and is by referring your friends. Now, depending on how and how much you invest on PRYPCO Blocks, you can get a certain amount in your PRYPCO wallet. If you invest less than 12,000 dirhams, you can get 250 dirhams for every single referral, successful referral. Between 12,000 dirhams and 90,000 dirhams, you can get 500 dirhams. And above 90,000 dirhams, you can get 750 dirham per successful referral. So think about it this way. If you have 1,000 friends and that you're sending this referral link to, and all of them successfully invested, you can get up to 750,000 dirhams in your PRYPCO wallet that you can invest in properties. Now, before opening up to Q&A, and I can see a lot of questions lined up there, just want to show you a couple of things that distinguish us from other platforms. And obviously why we're working tirelessly to provide you the best service out there. So those are 3 different properties that we've invested in the past couple of months on the PRYPCO Blocks app, and you can obviously see them on the app under funded properties. One is in Dubai Marina, one is in Dubai South, and one is in Dubai Studio City. Now, the valuation, for example, for Dubai Marina for that property is at 1.5 million dirhams. We've listed that property as 1.45 million dirhams. Whereas on different platforms in the market currently, you can see them getting listed at significantly higher. Same thing for Dubai South, same thing for Dubai Studio City. So what we're trying to do and how we're trying to curate property and sourcing properties is to significantly try to get these listings for a below market rate while negotiating a lot with the seller. So that's how we generate much returns for our investors. So as soon as you invest in that property, as soon as it's fully funded, you are already making a return on your investment because the valuation of that property has increased. Now, this is for capital appreciation, but now what about your annual rental income, the monthly dividends that you get? On every single property card, you're going to find a valuation report, obviously, about the property, but also a projection sheet. So that projection sheet will essentially tell you what you should be expecting coming out of that property, not only on a monthly basis, but also 5 years down the line. And in that projection sheet, we're going to tell you how much you should be expecting in terms of rental income. For these 2 properties that we've also have listed and funded on our property on our platform in JVC and Damac Hills, we projected a rental income of 60,000 dirhams per year in JVC. And just 2 weeks ago, we closed a tenancy agreement with the tenant at 75,000 dirhams, so significantly higher than what we projected. This extra 15,000 dirhams goes straight to the investor, and similar things for Damac Hills. Now, I want to open up for Q&A. I can see a lot of questions there in the Q&A. A lot of them are talking about minimum investment. A lot of them are talking about fees. So we can tackle them, Muhammad and I. But before that, if you want to start on PRYPCO Blocks, feel free to scan the QR code there. If you invest and you sign up and you invest, we're going to drop 250 dirhams in your PRYPCO wallet as soon as you invest. So yeah, opening up for Q&A. Starting off from the very, very top. Do you guys buy real estate inventory upfront, or is it on MOU basis? Muhammad, you're the real estate expert here. I think I'll pass it on to you.
So we don't buy the real estate. We sign an MOU, a memorandum of understanding between us and the seller. We ask for a number of days on the MOU itself that allows us to, one, list the property, accumulate the fund, and we would then rent it out and pay rent accordingly. So a short answer is no, we do not buy these properties. We raise the fund and we transfer these properties in the SPV where you will sit as an owner on that cap table of that SPV. So this is, to answer your question, we do not buy these properties.
Thanks, Manat. Question 2, is 8% gross or net yield, I stay in India, is it tax-free for me? So to answer your first question, if you're talking about the 8 to 12% return on investment that we project on our website, it's actually net. So this is the taking into consideration a 5-year tenor for your property. And it takes also into consideration capital appreciation and the income that you get on a monthly basis. So, and if you stay in India, is it tax-free for me? We highly advise you to get in touch with a tax advisor that can give you exact details of your tax situation in India. For whoever is residing and living in the UAE, I can tell them that this is a tax-free product. But for anyone outside of the UAE, I would highly advise for you to get in touch with a tax advisor. Another question from Anonymous is, how much capital appreciation can I expect? What is the total return on cap gains? And in the same question, you said, can I get mortgage on fractionalized ownership? So just to answer your first question, how much capital appreciation you can expect year on year, you can expect roughly around 5 to 6% capital appreciation, and on annualized return over the next 5 years, you can expect between 8 to 12%. Can you mortgage your fractional ownership? No, unfortunately, you cannot. Another question from Anonymous. How does fractional ownership works? Do you buy the property upfront or and then list on the app? How does, I think, Mohamed, you touched upon this earlier. So maybe to summarize quickly, we don't buy it upfront. We actually fund the property on the app. We register the investors on an SPV, which is some sort of a company which you will have ownership of that will own the property. That's how it works. Mohamed, maybe you can take the next one. So what is the minimum and maximum amount one can invest on PRYPCO Blocks?
So as a retail investor, Virendra, yes. So the minimum amount you can invest on PRYPCO Blocks is starting from 500 dirhams, which is equivalent to almost $140, slightly around that figure. The maximum amount a retail investor can invest is up to $100,000 annually. Or in a specific property, you can invest up to $50,000 or 31%, whichever comes first.
Thanks, Manat. Second question, you can also take it. Can I invest from India? If yes, how much can I invest? Are there any restrictions? This is also from Anonymous.
So yes, you can invest from India. You can invest for what's equivalent, starting from 500 dirhams. Are there any restrictions? If you are a resident of UAE, then you would need to upload your residency, your Emirates ID. If you are not, your proof of address will be sufficient along with your passport and your national ID. So yes, you can invest from India. There are no restrictions that are imposed on any one investing from India that is beyond what kind of restrictions we would have for someone in the UAE.
Thank you.
All right.
A question from Gilberto. I'm on Stake and Smart Crowd, so I got PRYPCO through a friend. What separates PRYPCO from Stake and Smart Crowd? I think I mean, we're not in a position to talk about other companies or peers, but in the previous slide, we did kind of highlighted one very big differentiator, and it's how we get and source our properties. That gives immediate access to returns to clients. So I think that could potentially answer your question, Gilberto. Thank you. Another question from Piyush. What if I have to sell the property I invested in? How long does resale work? You want to touch on this?
Sure. I'll take this up. So what you can sell is your shares in a property during one of our exit windows, which start 12 months from when the property first got funded, and then every 6 months. During these exit windows, it's a 2-week exit window where we will help facilitate the sale of your shares if that's what you're looking to do, by giving you the option to choose, I would like to sell my shares, and we would communicate that to all the other investors that might be interested in purchasing your shares. Reselling the property itself, how long does resale work? The property itself can be sold once over 50% choose to sell their shares. What we would do then is we would take that property, list it for sale at the latest valuation price that we received.
Cool, thank you. There are a lot of questions. We're trying to answer them all. I mean, there's still more than 60 questions that we need to answer. So in case we were not able to answer all the questions, and if someone is putting their name as public, we will definitely answer you by email. For whoever is anonymous, we'll try to touch on your question while we're in the session. So maybe what I can do is maybe prioritize the people that put their names out there. So Gilberto, you're saying that the minimum investment is 2,000 dirhams, which seems perfect, but it's for the first investment or for all recurring investments. So actually we dropped our minimum investment to 500 dirhams. We're going to communicate that across everyone, but this is an opportunity for you to get access to that information here on the webinar. So yeah, minimum investment is 500 dirhams, and it's for your first or recurring investment. So it doesn't matter. A question from Cameron, please can you share a link to GIFC to check an investor listed on a particular SPV? Yes, definitely. So when you invest on a property and you get your share certificate, you're going to have the name of that SPV. That is also available for you to check on the GIFC portal. And you're going to have all the list of shareholders that also share that SPV with you. And the link will also be available on the application. All right. Another question from Jamina. I didn't understand the exit part and income part. Is that that could be repeated or clarified, please? Mona, do you want to repeat the exit part? I'll probably go back to the slides that refer to that.
Sure. So once a property gets funded, there's a lock-in period, which means you cannot exit your shares or withdraw your money from that investment. After 12 months have passed, we will open an exit window. How does that happen? We will reach out to you, we'll notify you that, hey, your lock-in period is about to end. We're opening up our first exit window. You own this many blocks in that property. Would you like, and this is the value of the block today based on the latest valuation. We will ask you very simply whether you would like to exit your shares or not. So you will choose whichever option is suitable for you. If you choose to exit your shares, then we would offer your shares to the other investors that are part of our ecosystem. I hope that clarifies it, at least the exit bit. If you do not exit within these 2 weeks, then you will have to wait for another 6 months when we open our second exit window for other 2 weeks where you can then sell your shares in that property. And every 6 months after that, till we reach the period of 5 years, where we estimate a total holding period, after which we assume that we will exit the property.
Thanks, Manat. I'm going to start taking questions a bit randomly because we have a lot of questions there from different people. So there's someone saying, Amit saying, I have invested 85,000 dirhams already. If I refer anyone, what will I receive? So you're only 5,000 dirhams away from receiving 750 dirhams. So now you can receive 500 dirhams for a successful referral. A successful referral means someone who has signed up and invested the minimum investment on PRYPCO, which is 500 dirhams. All right. So another question, I think that could be interesting. What if you are unable to raise funds to close the deal within the stipulated MOU period? Mohamed, do you want to take this on?
I'm sorry, I didn't see where that question is. I see the other question.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So it's a question by Anonymous at 6:46 p.m. What if you are unable to raise funds to close the deal within the stipulated MOU period?
Then in this case, we would refund your total amount, including the fees that we anticipated for the first year. So the 1.5 entry fee, we would also refund any fees associated back to your wallet, which you can then choose to invest in another property or withdraw to your bank account.
Thank you.
All right.
Danish is saying, I live in Pakistan and direct bank transfer is difficult. Can we start with USDT? So far we only have two ways for you to invest on the platform, either via bank transfer, as you mentioned here, but also you can use your debit card and invest on PRYPCO. Those are the two funding methods at the moment.
All right. I'll take up this question because I see it and it's in my view.
All right.
How is the 1.5% and 2.5% calculated based on the total initial investment or based on return? So any charges that we apply are going to be based on the latest valuation report. You will find the latest valuation report on the listing itself. We have 4 documents mentioned there. You will see your investor memorandum, your brochure of that project. You will see the projection sheet, and you will see the most recent valuation report. So any of the charges applicable will be on the most recent valuation report.
Thank you. Just to touch upon the MOU because there is another question linked to the MOU that you talked about earlier. When you are unable to fund per the MOU, is there any penalty? Usually there's a penalty on the MOU. Do you want to talk about this, Mona?
So you're not subject to that penalty, no. As an investor on PRYPCO Blocks, this is something that we would secure. Any amount that you put in towards a property, towards funding a property, if for any reason the property does not fund, or any problem that we would face with a property, unforeseeable problem, potentially we couldn't transfer the property, then we would refund the total amount back into your wallet, including the fees, without any penalties applicable.
All right. Fatima, you're saying that we're going too fast. Sorry, we'll try to slow it down. Thank you for that feedback. Try to explain also a bit further. So you're also saying, how long is the lock-in period? There is a 1-year lock-in period between the day the apartment or the property is fully funded up until 1 year. So as soon as the 1-year lock-in period kind of ends, we open an exit window where you can divest out of your own blocks, your own investment, or you can buy other types of or other investment from other investors, as long as these investors are on the platform or within the ecosystem of PRYPCO Blocks, you can make that transaction.
All right. I'll take one.
Yeah, go for it.
From Afzal, can you open a bank account in UAE and receive rental in that account? So you would have to register on PRYPCO Blocks, where we will give you a wallet and your rental income will be sent to your PRYPCO Blocks wallet. Now, if you have a bank account in the UAE or outside, you can then transfer that amount from your PRYPCO Blocks wallet into your bank account, and yes, then you can withdraw it. As long as it's in your wallet, you can transfer it back to your bank account, and then you can get the dividend that is paid into your bank account. Hope that answers it for you, Afzal.
Cool.
All right.
You want to take another one?
Sure. What is the difference between you and stake?
I think we touched upon
As
it.
Joseph just touched on this, we're not in a position to be talking about anyone else. One thing that I can highlight about us specifically is that we are taking every decision with our North Star being, how can we provide the most value for our investors? And when we're thinking along these lines, we're thinking about these when we're negotiating the best prices in the market. And this is something I think we pride ourselves in, that if you compare our prices compared to not necessarily, any of the competitors only, but also go on any listing website, and you would see that the prices that we're able to acquire these properties at are very, very competitive prices. And I think that's what differentiates us from pretty much, everyone else in the market. The biggest differentiator is always in the content. I would highly recommend that you look at our properties that we've listed, look at our assumptions. They're very realistic, very conservative in a lot of places. And I think that's what really sets us apart, is that we're after providing the highest value to our investors.
All right. Another question related to transferring funds, also from Pakistan. So I'm from Pakistan, having issues of transferring funds via debit card, but it doesn't always go through, maybe due to restrictions. Can I ask my friend in Dubai to pay transfers on my behalf? That's also from Anonymous. No, unfortunately, you cannot. We only accept first-party transfers, which means it transfers that comes directly from your own personal bank account. So hope that answers your question.
All right. Another one, I'll take this one up. Are we investing in off-plan properties or existing properties? When is the return distributed to the investors for the off-plan properties? This is coming from Anonymous. We only list ready properties that can be rented immediately and not hotel apartments. So we don't list off-plan, at least as of now. We are only focused on ready property that will generate rental yield, and the returns are expected on monthly basis after the property is rented. Once we fund the property, we will furnish it, we will rent it, and after it's been rented, we will distribute the dividend from the rental amounts that we receive into your PRYPCO Blocks wallet.
All right. All right, I'm seeing a lot of repeat questions. Try to maybe to get from the bottom, like the recent questions. All right, Jamina, you're asking, I still don't understand this lock-in period. Tell me, if the property I invested is fully funded, I can get my income. Can I withdraw, or I have to wait 1 year? All right, let me clarify. The income that you receive is on a monthly basis as soon as the property is funded and rented. So when the funding process ends, what the team does, it goes find a tenant for this property. If we're able to find a tenant before the property is funded, that's also great, right? Let's say that we found a tenant the day the property was fully funded, just for that particular example. Then the following month, you're gonna receive the income for this for that property. The income that you receive, the dividend, is gonna be in your PRYPCO wallet. That dividend you can withdraw anytime. You can withdraw it to your bank account, or you can choose to reinvest it in another property. Exiting your initial amount in that property has a 1-year lock-in period that you can divest from it in every single exit window that we have. Hope that clarifies. All right.
Alberto asked another question I can see here, and you just touched a bit on it. I'll just highlight it again. Can I reinvest the dividend rental income instead of withdrawing the funds? You absolutely can. You cannot reinvest in the same property because it's fully funded, unless during one of the exit windows someone chooses to exit. You can reinvest the dividend into any of the open for funding properties. That's the opportunity that you will have. During that time, any property that's open for funding, you can immediately choose to invest in. Once it's funded, you can no longer increase your investment or invest in it anymore, unless someone chooses to exit their shares during one of the exit windows.
Murtaza is saying, if you're not able to rent it out, what happens? So currently, we're not able to. I mean, we were able to basically rent out all the apartments that we were fully funded. We are in a market that kind of put us in that situation, or in that benefit. So far we're able to rent out everything. Now, in the hypothetical scenario where we're not able to find a tenant, or maybe it's taking us a bit of time to find a tenant, you also need to remember that you're still invested in an asset that will appreciate also over time, and that has market appreciation later on. But I just do want to highlight that the team that we have is our real estate experts. We have access to a wide range of network of real estate agents as well, that can put us in front of tenants and get deals as soon as possible. So as soon as the property is fully funded, the process that we follow is to immediately try to find a tenant that can move in as soon as possible, and not to have like an extended period of time until that tenant moves in.
All right, I'll take another one here. From Anonymous, will there be transparency as to the progress of funding? If there is, how will it be communicated to the investors? So on our application, every listing has every open for funding listing has a percentage on the top right corner of the listing with a blue bar showing the exact percent of funding up until that very moment. You can see that the properties will keep progressing in their funding. It starts when we first listed at 0, goes to 10, 20, 30, all the way up until it's fully funded at 100%. So you can clearly see that for all of our open for funding properties on our application.
All right. I can see a lot of messages saying I already invested, but I didn't get my 250 dirhams. So here is something that we can do. We do value the loyalty of our customers. So for whoever hasn't invested yet, please, you can scan this QR code and you can start investing. Whoever already invested, take a screenshot of that of the Zoom presentation that we're doing today. Reach out to us separately and say, hey, we've attended the session. We're more than happy to drop the 250 dirhams in your wallet if you have it, if you also do another investment on the property or on any property that is listed there. So we can definitely do that. Awesome. Another question. Maybe also I want to time keep. So maybe let's give it another 10 minutes.
All right. There's a question from Murtaza. Once a property is fully funded, and then if you're not able to rent instantly, then what happens to the investment? So we will constantly look for a tenant. We list these properties through our partners. We have vendors and partners that are short-term partners and long-term partners. We will explore all channels to ensure that we're able to rent these properties for the highest possible price, the fastest time possible. Some of the things we also do is that we furnish these properties because we've learned that differentiates it from the other properties that are available for rent in the same project, renting our properties or the properties that we manage for you much faster for a higher price. Actually, when I started reading this question, I was reading another question and then it got down because someone asked. So I read the other question.
All right.
From Zara. Yeah, this is the one I saw. Zara Ali asked, after 12 months, if someone wants to sell their share, how can we buy those shares? During our exit windows, when someone chooses to offload their shares or their blocks, as we call them, we will reach out to our investors. So you would be notified that, hey, there's an opportunity to now invest in that specific property, where you can choose, yes, I will invest at that value, or ignore or choose no. You can also reach out to your relation manager, as every investor has an allocated relation manager that will be reaching out to you if they haven't already. And you can inform them that you're interested. So they can also give you that early visibility in case you miss out on the opportunity. They'll tell you, hey, you showed interest in that property. There's someone trying to sell their shares. Or you interested in buying more shares in that property? As long as you haven't reached 31%, and there are shares that are being offered, you can absolutely go ahead and purchase these shares up or these blocks. Thank you, Zara. Yeah.
Another question. How long are the exit windows? And will you receive regular emails or reminders at every exit window? So the exit window are for 2 weeks, and you will receive communication about the windows opening prior to those 2 weeks, so leading up to the exit window, during the exit window, and obviously at the end of the exit window, we'll send you an email summarizing all the transactions that you've conducted during that period. So we haven't set the exit window yet or the first exit window, because we've been live for the past 6 or 7 months. So you can expect our first exit window around Q2 2025. All right. Another question: how can I join the app as a property developer to list? So listing a property on PRYPCO Blocks is a different process than you joining as an investor. You can reach out to us by email, give us a call, or by WhatsApp. You can obviously have these contact details on our website, and someone from our property management team can reach out to you and see how we can potentially list your properties there. Now, I do want to mention that we only accept ready residential properties, not commercial, not off-plan. Another question about DLD and fees. So who pays the 4% DLD fee? It is the investor that pays that 4% DLD. You will pay the percentage of, or the share that you've invested in. So let's assume the property is valued at 1 million dirhams. and you've only invested 1% of that property, so 10,000 dirhams, you will only pay 1% of that 4% DLD fee. So that's how it works. So it's proportional to how much you're investing. Cool. In case of a property decline or recession, how much of my initial investment would I lose? That's a question from Anonymous. I think that's a very important question because I do want to highlight that investing in real estate is similar to investing like in any other asset classes. There are ups or downs, right? So, and it's something that you cannot predict. But the benefit of investing in real estate is that you get income stream from two different sources. One is your capital appreciation or the potential capital appreciation of that property, and two is the rental income. So even though the property, let's say the market is in decline, someone still needs to live in that unit, right? So a rental income will still be generated. So that is the benefit of investing in real estate. So a question from Mohit, do you list only residential? Can I invest in commercial? So unfortunately, no, we can't. That's a DFSA restriction. We're not allowed to invest in commercial so far. All right, any other question?
How long are the exit windows open for? A month or a week?
Answered.
Okay, sorry, didn't. I do see a lot of these questions being repeated, so I'm trying to screen through to find new ones. Or if I'm seeing more of the recent ones being repeated, I think we can touch on them again just to ensure everyone got correct understanding here.
So, all right, Gilberto is saying on stake, for example, the first minimum investment is 500, and then the other investments are like 100 or 5 or etc. Do you have the same principle? So for now, we stick with 500 dirhams as minimum for any transaction that you do. What if I have invested and afterwards moved back to my country, say Cameroon? What happens to my investment when I'm back in my country? Nothing happens to your investment. You are an owner of an SPV that is registered in Dubai. Disregarding where you live, you reside. So there are a couple of restrictions on countries that obviously you cannot reside in, but Cameroon is not part of these countries. So you can definitely keep your investment, get your monthly dividends, divest out of the property, or even invest in new properties. So that's perfectly fine.
All right.
So another question from, sorry to interrupt, Mohamed, but someone is saying again, I invested 2 months ago. Am I eligible for that 250 dirham? I mentioned earlier for the new ones who have not invested before on PRYPCO, feel free to download the app, scan the QR code down. It's very important to scan the QR code, download the app through the link from that QR code. Maybe we can also drop the link in the chat for people who are on their phones. And they can click to that link, and for whoever invested previously, you can take a screenshot of the Zoom, send us that screenshot and tell us that I've attended the Zoom. As long as you also invested another amount, we can top up your wallet with 250 dirhams. But let me add the link to that QR code. Maybe you can take another question, Mohamed, in the meantime.
Sure. This is coming from Anonymous. For the documents required, can a postpaid plan mobile bill address is fine to submit to verify your address aside from bank statement? Yes, so you can use your mobile bills as proof of address. You can use your bank statement. You can use your utility bills. You can use your tenancy contract, as long as any of those clearly mentions your address, your name, and is no longer than 3 months old. Then you can use any of these documents that highlight any of these official documents that highlight this information for your proof of address verification.
All right. Sorry, Mohit, you're saying, can you please answer my queries? But honestly, trust me, there are a lot of questions coming in. So your probably question is lost somewhere in the threads. We have more than 230 questions there. So sorry about that. What if I want to participate in the exit window, but there is no buyer? So you need to remember something, that It's very similar. So this is Piyush also sending the question. So you need to remember something, that you are in a market that has a buyer and a seller, so supply and demand. Sometimes the supply doesn't mean the demand because of the price that is offered, right? So it's very similar to if you are in the market out there and you're trying to find a seller for your own property. It's the same scenario. Now, what we offer in the exit window is the ability for you to list that your blocks at a discount if you would like to exit the property. You can obviously sell it at par, or you can also sell it at a premium. So it is something that you will need to decide, and you will need to find someone on the platform will need to accept the offer that you put out there. But we give you all the tools and that will allow you to essentially list the property at the price that you want.
All right, I found a question from Mohit, so I really want to answer this before it gets lost and buried. Can I fund my wallet through credit card? Great question. The answer is no. You can only use your debit card or a direct bank transfer to fund your wallet or a property. So you cannot use your credit card.
All right. I think Mohit has a different question as well. So there are so many fractional ownership platforms in the market. Everyone offers Dubai. I heard there are good options in Iraq, Ajman, Riyadh. Do you guys offer other regions? So for now, we're only able to invest in the UAE. So you touched on Ras Al Khaimah and Ajman. So Riyadh, we're not able to offer properties there so far because we're not regulated in the Saudi market. Ras Al Khaimah and Ajman, Abu Dhabi, and all other Emirates, it is potentially something that we can definitely look at for sure. Not saying no to these opportunities. All right. Another question you want to tap on? So the SPV is subject to VAT. Anonymous, can you please clarify on this? What is it exactly in the SPV that is subject to VAT? Do you
I think just to highlight,
sorry, one second. Do you classify the investors access as professionals only? So at the moment, all of our clients are classified as retail investors. We're unlocking the opportunity for professional investors to be part of the platform. This is something you can expect by the end of this quarter, beginning Q1, which allows you then to invest more than $100,000 per annum. You will still have the restriction per property, but per annum you would be able to invest more than 100,000 dirhams.
Right. Another question I see from Summit Gabo. Is there any guaranteed ROI in PRYPCO like some other developers are offering? We do not guarantee returns. We are assuming specific returns that you yourself can download and look through in our projection sheet for each of the listings. As each listing goes through different experiences, different costs, different expected returns, we will gather all the information for you, presented there for you on the listing, for you to be able to make an informed decision. However, you are making a real investment in Dubai's real estate. You are exposed to the risks of this investment as well. One thing to highlight is investing in real estate is one of the least riskier investment options available today. So we don't guarantee. However, we will provide you all the necessary information for you to be able to make an informed decision and for you to be able to also see how we've arrived at these figures ourselves. You can make changes to these if you're not comfortable with the figures that we're presenting you with. And you can then decide whether or not this opportunity or this specific property is the right property for you to put your investment in, or choose a different property if that's what you prefer.
Cool.
How do you guys, yeah.
Sorry, Mohit is asking about the golden visa and fractional ownership. So you can get a golden visa if you invest 2 million dirhams on PRYPCO Blocks. So that's one way for you to get access to golden visa. The entire amount needs to be on PRYPCO Blocks. I think we ran out of time. What we will do is all the questions that are there that have been unanswered, we're gonna answer them and send them to you by email. Also, two things to note. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us on all of our channels, whether it's by email, you can give us a call. You can send us a WhatsApp and all other channels. Another way for you to also connect with us, I think that will be amazing. If you live in Dubai, we are hosting a brunch with blocks. So it's more of an interactive session this Saturday from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. in our offices in Damak Hills, where you can come meet us and greet us, have also brunch with us, have lunch with us, and we can answer all the questions that you have. So yeah, we'll try to answer all of your questions as promised. And yeah, I think there's a question from Gilberto that's actually quite interesting that I will answer before closing. I know you are regulated by the Dubai authorities and focus on Dubai market. On a future perspective, do you have any plans to enter other markets like Qatar, Saudi, etc.? So we are regulated by the DFSA, which is the regulator of the GIFC, and it's something very important to note that you, while looking at investing in financial institutions, make sure that they always regulated. Looking at other markets, this is something obviously we're always open to explore Saudi, Qatar, other part of the GCC market, but also outside of the MENA region. For now, we just launched in the UAE. We want to establish ourselves here in Dubai, but obviously sky is the limit with PRYPCO, and definitely we'll be looking at different markets very, very soon. All right, with this, I would like to thank every single one of you for attending the session. Very sorry for not being able to answer all of your questions, but it shows that there is a lot of demand on such a product, and we're more than happy to provide you a great service and to answer also all of your questions. Feel free to reach out to us. Also, feel free to share with us any kind of feedback, whether it's related to this webinar, if the content of this webinar you want to see us also more or see more of this content later on, but also about the product, its features, and the properties that we list. So thank you so much for your time. Have a lovely end of day or beginning of day wherever you are, and yeah, take care.
All right.